All across the country, AFSME activists are winning improvements in the workplace. We're fighting mandatory overtime and short staffing at the University of California, fighting layoffs and budget cuts in Illinois, mobilizing for first contracts for newly organized state employees in Maryland, Kentucky, Missouri, and Puerto Rico. We're solving problems every day and building more power to win better contracts. How are we winning these victories? We're mobilizing workers and building our power at work. And one of the most effective tools we have is the member action team. The AFSME Member Action Team, or MAT, is an organizing network that helps workers strengthen their union and build power in the workplace. To create such a network, you'll need good communicators, activists who will keep in touch with their coworkers. So the first step in building a member action team is recruiting the people who will become your MAT activists. Each MAT activist will be responsible for regular face-to-face communication with about 10 workers.
Responsibility is to go out and try to explain, different things about the union and things we're doing, and if people have problems, listen to them and try to tell them what they need to do, and then try to get them involved in the union.
The best MATs are natural leaders, people who are liked and respected by their coworkers, who communicate well, who are able to motivate others to take action, and who are willing to invest the time necessary to make the MAT work. You can recruit the MATs in a number of ways: targeted house visits, union meetings, and workplace conversations.
Hi, Vivian. How's it going?
Not bad. You?
I'm doing okay, but I've been hearing some grumbling about problems in your department. What's going on?
It's the same old thing. On every shift I worked, we have fewer people on the job than we're supposed to.
Well, short-staffed.
Right. They keep piling more and more work on instead of hiring more people.
And how does that affect you?
It means a lot of mandatory overtime, for one thing. That's really got people upset.
You too.
Sure. My son's in daycare. I'm supposed to pick him up every day at 5:30 sharp. When my supervisor comes to me at 5 and tells me I gotta work until 7, that messes up my day good. And it hurts our clients too. I mean, how do they expect you to do your job when you're overworked and stressed out? You'd think they'd understand that.
It looks like they don't.
Or don't want to.
Maybe we should do something about it.
What do you mean?
Well, I've been talking to other folks who are upset about short staffing.
What can we do? They control staffing levels.
Well, that's true.
I mean, we tried to get something in the last contract on this issue and failed. The union's never been able to do anything about staffing levels.
Well, you're right about the contract, so we've got to do something else.
What else can we do?
We can organize. I mean, you said yourself that a lot of people are really upset about the forced overtime.
And usually there's always somebody else affected by this. And then you search those folks out and you get together.
If we can get people together, I think we can do something about it.
Maybe. But that's not easy. Getting people organized?
But it's the only way I know to change a situation like this.
By sticking together.
Yeah, and by working together and being visible. Figuring out what we want done and fighting for it.
How can we do that?
Well, we're creating something called the Member Action Team, MAT for short.
And they were starting the MAT program, and they had approached me about becoming a MAT, which at the time I had no idea what they were talking about.
It's a network of people like yourself who are respected by their coworkers and want to do something about the problems at work, like short staffing.
Do something how?
Well, first, by talking with our coworkers. I'm looking for people like you to become MAT activists. Each MAT activist is responsible for keeping in touch with about 10 people in their department.
Keeping in touch? How?
Well, talking to them on a regular basis and finding out what their concerns are.
We did surveys, found out what were the issues that were absolutely the most important to the people that were affected by our contract.
What good will that do?
The whole idea behind the MAT network is to identify problems that we can fix by standing together. So, for example, when people tell us they're fed up with short staffing, we can put some pressure on management to stop it.
I can get behind that.
Well then, how about becoming a MAT?
would you be interested in being a mat leader? And at first I'm like, man, what's that accomplish? You know, what I have to do? I don't want to be getting calls at 10 o'clock at night.
What would you want me to do?
Well, first, I'd like you to find out who else in your department is being affected by the staffing problem and whether they're willing to do something about it.
I can do that.
Then we'll get together and we'll figure out a plan.
The MAT activists you've recruited are your team members, you know, the key people in your MAT network. Once you've recruited enough MAT activists, you have to organize them into a working structure. Now, here's how it works. At each workplace or department, there will be one or more MAT activists, the leaders you've recruited. Each
activist will be responsible for keeping in contact with about 10 workers. And we'll need to cover every group in every department on every shift, members and non-members alike.
Why non-members?
Well, there's two reasons. One, that's how we bring them into the union, and two, the more people we involve, the stronger we'll be. The key is to reach out and involve everyone we can.
Everyone? That's a tall order.
Yeah, that's why we spread it out. I mean, you don't have to keep in touch with everyone yourself, just 10 people. Same for Jerry, same for Vivian, same for me. And that's how we reach everyone.
We can get to everybody, get them involved. We can kind of venture out and you can kind of, grab a whole lot of people in different departments that I don't even know where they're at in here, and so you can get them involved.
And we reach them fast.
Well, that sounds workable.
Yeah, and it's not bad. I've already started doing it.
So you're each keeping in touch with 10 people. Let's say I'm doing the same. But I don't know what's on the minds of your people, and you don't know what's on the minds of Denise's.
That's why we have regular MAT meetings like this one, so we can hear from each other and identify common issues.
The MAT leaders stay in touch with one another and are responsible for getting in touch with those people who are on their list.
I've heard from a lot of people in my department. Mandatory overtime.
So how does the whole thing work?
Well, it's like a pyramid. Here are some MAT activists, each of whom is in regular contact with 10 workers in their departments.
The principle is you have a leader, and there are 10 people, say, in your work area. If you have 20 people in your work area, you would have 2 teams of 10 with 2 MAT leaders.
In a large workplace like ours, MAT activists would report to a MAT captain, who may cover multiple departments or different shifts by working with 3 or 4 activists. Then the captains get together for regular meetings like this one to compare notes and plan actions. At the top of the pyramid is a leader, like one of us, or a staff person. They make sure the entire MAT structure is working.
Yeah, almost like I say, like a pyramid, Say you got the organizer, then you say you got the MAC people under her. And then say if you got 10 MACs under her, then everybody got 10 people that they inform or talk to, and then they're going to talk to someone, their friends or whatever, then you get more people in.
How are the MATs supposed to keep in touch with their 10 workers? I mean, do we have MATs for all these areas?
We've got most work areas covered, but we do have some holes. We need someone to cover second shift on the B wing.
I can cover it. I know some of them.
Well, it needs to be someone on that shift.
Why?
Well, because face-to-face contact works best, and people will respond better to someone they already have a strong relationship with.
It's a person-to-person, one-on-one relationship that you build between your coworkers.
They're not going to somebody who they don't know. They're coming to me, and so I'm going to someone I know, get the correct answer.
So every floor has a mat.
This is going to be a lot of work.
Not really. I mean, you're seeing these people every day at work and probably talking to most of them anyway. It's just a matter of asking them what's on their minds as far as work goes. Do they have any problems, any ideas for improving things?
And asking them to do something, because that gets them involved in the union.
That's the problem, getting people to do something.
No, not when you're asking them to get involved in something they really care about, especially when we have a plan. We're not sending you out there cold. We'll have training to make sure we have the skills we need.
Skills we need for what?
For organizing people, to deal with short staffing problems, for example.
Well, let's get to it.
The MAT team has identified a problem, short staffing and mandatory overtime, and they've put the MAT structure in place. Now it's time for each MAT activist to go to their 10 contacts and mobilize them for action.
Hi, Jim. How's it going today?
All right.
Looking forward to your days off?
Don't I wish. They got me working both of them this week.
Both?
Second time this month.
Seems like everyone's getting hit.
That's what I hear.
If there's one person who has a problem, likely there are other people around. Let's find those people. Get those people together. Sit down. Sit down and make a petition out. Go and see the supervisor or the person who's in charge first.
How would you like to do something about it?
Forget it. They have complete control over our work schedules.
Not if we fight back.
Fight back.
If we could show them that everyone is as angry as you about this problem, that could change things.
Hey, no one is as angry as me. But that's not the point. How do you plan to get this crowd to stick together?
With this petition, for starters.
What good is this going to do?
If we could get everyone to sign it, it will send management a strong message that they've got to do something about this.
I don't know.
I thought you were angry about this. If you don't do something, they'll just keep on taking away your days off. Is that what you want?
No. How many people you have signed up so far?
Quite a few.
Because I don't want to be hanging out there alone.
You won't be. And each new signature gets us closer to getting something done. How about it?
Sure.
When I'm talking to somebody and they have a problem and I can see they kind of, afraid to speak out and stuff, I let them know they have rights, and if you need to be informed of your rights, we can talk to a union rep.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah?
How would you like to see the look on Sullivan's face when we hand it in?
What are you talking about?
We're going to meet with Sullivan to give him this petition.
You don't need me at a meeting. I signed your petition.
It's not my petition, it's everyone's.
Yeah, but you're not going to have everyone go to the meeting.
No, but I want to get at least one person from each department.
I don't think so.
You said no one was angrier than you. Shouldn't you be there?
Okay, as long as I don't have to say anything.
We'll get together ahead of time and work all that out.
I would like to see the look on his face.
Mobilizing workers for any sort of action takes planning. So the MAT team has gathered again, this time to prepare to deliver their petition to management.
Okay, how are we doing on signatures?
I've got about 80% of my department.
Same here. People are really upset about this.
I got 7 of my 10.
I got all 10.
This MAT person got 10, and the other one got 10, and the other one got 10, so then you got how many people? And then you got, like say I inform my 10, then I'm going to tell them, look, bring somebody with you, bring another employee with you, inform them what's going on.
I mean, it's not everyone, but it's enough to make our point.
Which is?
Well, one thing they'll probably say is that this is a small problem that only a few of us care about. The number of signatures we've gathered will take care of that argument.
What else will they say?
I expect them to say they can't afford the most obvious remedy.
Hiring more staff?
Right. They'll say their budget won't allow it.
I never have understood that. I mean, they should hire the staff needed to do the job right.
Got that right.
So that's our main point? Add more staff?
Right. I'll bring that one up.
Okay, good.
Wait, what about my daycare issue?
Well, I think you should bring that up, too. Tell them exactly how it affects you, the scrambling you have to do to find a substitute to take care of your kid.
Especially when they dump it on me at the last minute?
Right.
Hey, wait a minute. Last minute notice isn't the only issue. They give me plenty of warning, but they're still taking away my days off.
Yep.
I mean, it's happened 4 times in the last 6 weeks. I'm tired of it.
Okay, you should tell them that.
Well, believe me, I will.
Good. Okay, Jim's going to talk about lost days off, Vivian about daycare, and Jerry's going to ask him to hire new workers. That leaves you, Denise.
Well, we've covered everything I can think of. I don't need to talk.
There's another issue I think we should bring up.
What's that?
Our clients.
What do you mean?
Short staffing hurts the quality of the service we deliver to our clients. And I think this is an important point because they should be as concerned about our clients as we are.
Well, they say they are.
Exactly. So let's make it clear that their policies are jeopardizing quality service. It's an argument that should appeal to their self-interest. And then we'll have a balance between how angry we are.
I'll do that.
Showing them some of the hardships they're creating for their employees.
That's me.
And suggesting ways to solve the problem.
Hiring more staff.
And that, in the end, it might be better for them and the clients we serve if they change this policy.
Okay, I can bring that up, but I'd appreciate support from all of you like you did just now.
You got it.
Wait a minute. What's that leave for you, Roy?
Well, I'll open the meeting and introduce all of you, get things rolling.
And give them the petition?
Yeah, so they can't say, no one besides you is concerned about this.
Anything else?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they end the meeting with, we'll think about it, or we'll get back to you, I'll jump on that real quick and say we want a follow-up meeting a week later. And we'll need to be ready to crank up the heat if that happens.
Good point. We'd better be one step ahead of them.
The MAT team has had its meeting with management and presented the petition. Now they've gotten back together for a follow-up debriefing session.
So how do you think it went?
We really scored some points.
For me, it was really exciting because usually when you hear about management, the high people, you kind of get nervous about it, about confronting them. But that day, everybody was cool. Everybody got a chance to talk and tell them what they felt about their problems.
Yeah, and don't forget, they agreed to meet with us again next week and give us an answer.
Yeah, that was good, the way you locked them into that at the end of the meeting.
And we don't want to let them off the hook.
Right.
Well, what if they stonewall us then?
Well, we've got to start preparing for that now.
How?
Well, we need to go back to everyone who signed the petition.
And those who didn't.
Exactly. And let them know about our meeting with management and get them ready to turn up the heat.
What do you mean, turn up the heat?
If you want to have a rally, get your MAT team together, your MAT leaders, your MAT captains. You start with the captains and you work down. You get everybody out there, you get people to sign up to come. And
What if we ask everyone who signed the petition to wear a sticker on the day of our next meeting with management?
I like that. It shows we're not giving up.
Well, what kind of stickers?
Well, I drew this up last night. More staff, equal quality care.
How do we get them to wear it?
With the MAT, the same way we got them to sign the petition.
And if they still won't change the policy?
Well, we increase the pressure, maybe get our clients involved.
Or maybe we take our story to the press.
Well, that's an idea.
It's important to monitor the effectiveness of your MAT network. It's both a communications and a mobilization tool. And remember, most of communications is listening. You've got to listen to your coworkers, and you've got to keep them informed and get them ready for action. The AFSME members you've seen in this video are from Local 3299. They work for the University of California at a dozen different campuses all across the state. They built a MAT network to help solve problems big and small, and to build the power of their union.
The point is to keep it united, keep that strong, because communication keeps you informed. It keeps you, and then it keeps us, together.
And they've been very successful. Take the staffing issue. When management at the UCLA Medical Center tried to lay off 30% of the workers in one department, they stopped the layoffs.
everybody rallied around from all the different departments. Students, we had nurses, I'm a psych tech, we had just all the different groups going on these delegations to human resources and kind of bothering them, but letting them know that this is not okay. And I don't think that anybody was laid off.
The layoffs were an issue at just one location, but the MAT was just as successful with an issue that affected everyone in the local, negotiating a new contract. Using the MAT, the local organized a year-long contract campaign. They launched it with demonstrations all around the state on the day negotiations began.
We had a rally in last May that was the biggest rally ever on a UC campus. We had to let people know that it's important for them to be vocal and to be visible for their union, and people came out and they did it.
Fighting short staffing and mandatory overtime, organizing a contract campaign, reaching out to the community for support, getting involved in politics and influencing legislation. The MAT can be used for all these things. It's a tool for expanding the union's power by maximizing the real source of the union's strength, the workers.
I'm the union. We're the union. Everybody, all the employees here, we are the union. And the union is us.
The MAT gives you a loud voice because they know it's just not my voice they're going to hear. They know I'm going to go to my MAT, representative, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the problem that was happening,
That's the MAT. It worked for these AFSME members. It can work in your local too.